Nah, this ain't nonsense, this is nonfiction. So excuse if the content is offensive, it's official. Now that we have been acquainted, this is my pleasure, my pain, your entertainment.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Nonpfixion coming back at you one more time with a brand new reaction. And this time, as you can see the title, there's been an announcement made. Spider-Man 4 official announcement from Marvel Sony and the MCU update. So this is brought to us by Everything Always. So our good friend Michael Roman at Everything Always, well, can't even say good friend. I've spoken to him a handful of times on Instagram and DMs, but that's about it. But he's a good guy, so I'm gonna say a good friend. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he doesn't know me for nothing. Anyways, anyways, he has a video that is an update for Marvel slash Sony for Spider-Man 4, and as many of us know, there has been new negotiations and contract talks, and supposedly a new contract signed for Tom Holland to do what I believe is another 3-part series deal. So, you know, we know that. Okay, so from this point on, if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home, everything that come out of my mouth or his mouth could be a spoiler warning. So you are warned. Warning. Spoilers. We know at the end of the movie, No Way Home, that, just let you know, going slow so you can realize you're about to hear something you don't want to hear. Well, it's not even that big, but still, we know that they got into college, into MIT. So, then they still don't know who Peter is because of the spell at the end of the movie. Now, I'm assuming he's going to go through most of the first movie, or at least half of it, and still try to get to know them maybe on different levels, so they just know him as Peter and not as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Still try to make MJ fall in love with him again. Still try to make Ned into his best friend. But it's going to all come to a head, and they're going to find out, you know, halfway through the movie or 3/4 of the movie through, and it's going to be back to normal. Almost back to normal, because they're going to be mad at him for not doing it earlier. She's going to be especially pissed off at him. Anyways. Or she's going to figure out before half the movie, and then when he tells her 3/4 into the movie, then she's going to erupt on him. Anyways. Let's get into this trailer. Not trailer. Let's get into this MCU update from Everything Always. Michael Roman. Great content creator. Please subscribe to his channel. I have a link in the description for his video, for his channel. Subscribe to him. He is a great content creator for Marvel. Also has a great Iron Man suit. If you don't know him, he wore it for the initial Spider-Man first release trailer that came out, and he does watch-alongs for the MCU Disney Plus series. So do I. So let's I'm gonna take this off, because by now you should understand. Spoilers, just in case. If don't message me saying why you didn't tell me.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, just over 2 weeks ago, we ran a story here at the channel reporting on Amy Pascal, longtime producer over at Sony. She's now doing her own thing, but totally in charge of Spider-Man. And other than Kevin Feige, the most in the know about what's going on with the future of that character and the franchise, telling us not to worry that Spider-Man 4 was in its earliest stages of development. However, she's only half of the equation, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige being the other half. But alas, Kevin Feige has finally weighed in on Spider-Man 4 as well, and it is all good news. We're breaking down exactly what he said in context of not only Amy Pascal's comments from 2 weeks ago, but the reports at large over the last 2 years, the greater plan for Marvel and Sony, what they wanted to do with the Spider-Man character, and how the end of Spider-Man No Way Home left us off in the perfect spot for what they're going to do in Spider-Man 4. All very exciting stuff for the future of Spidey and the MCU, and we're breaking down everything Kevin Feige said about it. But first, if you could consider hitting the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content here at this channel, and that's all we do, and I've been doing it for 4 years. We cover everything from the journalistic side, the industry insider scoops, interviews, reviews,
He good.
breakdowns, all the
He
way to the
good.
anonymous
He
4chan
good.
plot
Follow
leak and
him.
everything
Subscribe
in
to his
between.
channel.
So if that sort of thing's
Seriously.
for you, consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win the PS5 giveaway, which is at 920,000 subscribers. We are almost there. If you want, stick
very
around at
close.
the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So these quotes and the ones around them were taken directly and verbatim from their most recent New York Times interview. And if you're wondering, yes, president of Marvel Studios Kevin Feige was sitting side by side in this interview with producer Amy Pascal, as he's done quite often for the press tours for these films, ever since she reportedly threw a sandwich at him for Kevin Feige requesting to have Spider-Man in Civil War. That's a true story. Look it up. They point blank asked, what about the next standalone Spider-Man movie? Amy, you said last month that you and Kevin, Sony and Disney, are going to collaborate on 3 more, which seemed to catch the studios by surprise. Pascal said, quote, we're producers, so we always believe everything will work out. I love working with Kevin. We have a great partnership alongside Tom Rothman, who runs Sony and has been instrumental, a great leader with great ideas. I hope it lasts forever. To which the New York Times writer cleverly interjected in the interview and in all bold, that sounds like a classic Hollywood walk back. Kevin Feige jumped in though, no fear at all, and this is what he had to say about the future of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 4, quote, Amy and I and Disney and Sony are talking about, yes, we're actively beginning to develop where the story heads next, which I only say outright because I don't want fans to go through any separation trauma like what happened after Far From Home. They go ahead and put in brackets the previous Spider-Man movie in 2019, although I'm sure most of the people watching the video at this channel know exactly what happened back in 2019. That was right after Avengers Endgame and Far From Home, the end of the deal between Sony and Marvel, and Sony pulled Tom Holland's Peter Parker out of the MCU. Feige made sure to conclude his quote by saying that will not be occurring at this time. Pascal then jumped in and said, at the end of the movie we just made, you see Spider-Man make a momentous decision, one that you've never seen him make before. It's a sacrifice, and that gives us a lot to work with for the next film. Now, quite honestly, I'm probably not the only one that's very relieved that they came out and said this, and not just because of what happened before after Far From Home with their sharing agreement, or the fact that Sony is developing this myriad of solo villain films and has yet to introduce a Spider-Man, which they're eventually going to have to, probably Tom Holland's iteration. It's because of what Tom Holland's been saying during the press tour. Quotes like, it may be time to say goodbye to Spider-Man. If I'm still playing him when I'm 30, I've done it wrong. Even the most recent quote that he thinks the best thing is for Spider-Man to go away for a while and let the fans tell them what they want. Of course, some of those taken out of context.
Yes.
It sounds like for certain, regardless of what he's saying about the character and what others have said about him ending up back at Sony, all of this is going to continue at least for one more trilogy, which you have to give credit where credit is due. This was all said all the way back in 2019 by one friend of the channel and industry insider, Mikey Sutton. He's the chief editor, founder over at Geekosity website. He and I have been friends now for 2 years. And if you look back on my YouTube channel and his posted editorials, Geekosity was started some year later, we were breaking the live Into the Action Spider-Verse all the way back in 2020, January 23. This is months after that sharing agreement was re-signed. Guys, this is almost 2 full years ago. Mikey Sutton had this all called all the way back then. And the reason I bring this up is just not to give him credit, but this is what he had to say about the future of the MCU and Spider-Man again 2 years ago, and it's all lining up. He said after this initial trilogy of Peter Parker in high school, that the MCU and Sony would look to do the next trilogy, Peter Parker in college.
Yeah,
3 movies. And honestly, everything about this last film lined that up perfectly. This is what I will specifically say, though, going forward into this video, even though we're going to wrap it up here shortly for a couple more final points I want to make. There are light spoilers about the end of Spider-Man No Way Home for the next couple of minutes in this video. I want to point 2 things out. So if that's in any way going to ruin it for you, even though I know you guys have been trolling YouTube for 48 hours and probably seen the movie everywhere at this point, please back out now so it's not ruined for you. I was worried at the end of the movie when they essentially erased everybody's memory of Peter Parker. That's basically disconnecting him from the canon of the MCU. There's still a Spider-Man. He was still a part of Avengers Endgame. He's still a part of the zeitgeist popular culture, and there are both sides still, as we heard from John Jonah Jameson. Is he a menace or is he a hero? But Peter Parker's connection to those characters is now gone. And so I was really worried watching him swing out that essentially Sony, so to speak, were in the driver's seat with all of this, because what was anchoring him to the MCU that connection to those characters and the trials and tribulations they had gone through essentially were reset with a memory wipe. And while yes, there are definitely going to be some theories and Easter egg things we're going to discuss in the coming weeks at the channel that may have, well, sort of different opinions on how this ending really happened and what's going on there. I think in all, it's really good to hear that Marvel and Sony are still working together. There's no contention there, that they seemingly have a path forward with the character, and if Mikey Sutton continues to be right over the coming years from what's coming from Sony and Marvel, then we're going to get another trilogy with Tom Holland's Parker in college, and then if he continues to be correct, we'll get yet another trilogy. That's right. Mikey Sutton originally said 3 trilogies, 9 movies. Freshman in high school through freshman in college through being an adult. But hey, that's like a decade to come, and we shall see. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments down below. What I will mention also is that at least right now, Tom Holland is reported to show up in one more Spider-Man Marvel crossover. Whether or not that'll be a post-credit scene in Venom, or Morbius, or a future Venom film, we'll talk about that again in the months to come, I'm sure. Leave a comment down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PlayStation.
Okay, so they're giving away PlayStation 5, as you can see, and they're close to get to their numbers. So if you're interested in possibly winning a PlayStation 5, he actually does give stuff out. It's not like some channels. I know him for sure. I know Cosmic Wonder, and there's one other channel that actually has given out stuff where I've seen people with the gifts and pictures and video and all that stuff. So thank you so much for being a part of this channel. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, noon, no matter where you are in the world today. If you like this video, then like the video and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Pass it on to someone you like, because they might like me. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a great day. And don't forget, yellow heart in chat if you made it this far. Peace, love. We out, y'all. Spread love, not hate. Peace out.